Hello everyone, and welcome back to Making a Cat Cry. Now, it's been a while since I've read, but I've already done a quick recap for myself this time. So, let's just see. Does this amulet overload? You are now the Amulet of Silence. Or, more specifically, you are the imprisoned soul of a puppy that is being used to power the amulet's enchantment. Ah, lesser soul gems. Don't worry, bro, you've got this. You've silenced much greater mages than this lady. You've had master wizards screaming, slow fall, to no avail. Skilled conjurers frantically trying in vain to summon a Daedric sword, and trained healers baffled at why their cure poison spells did nothing. After each of these instances, you ended up with a new owner. Unfortunately, your animalistic mind is far too simple to understand the reason behind this. But seriously, you're doing fine. Rock on. Before you do anything, you should probably keep your face as stoic as possible and examine the reactions of others at the table. You are now the Khajiit again. The Countess stifles a giggle and looks away. Oh, that smug one. She thinks she is funny. Well, it kind of is, but it's also hurtful. You're not a stray cat. You managed to get this far without any disasters. Do not let a silly waiter ruin it. Chug your water and just pour the milk into your water glass. Quillweave. There, problem solved. You tried to shoot an eye of fear at the servant, but you're pretty sure it doesn't work. Probably for the best. You're just going to take this in stride and enjoy your food. This time. How does skills like that recharging in Oblivion work? So like the power Eye of Fear is a power that's once a day? So I'm not sure if it resets at midnight or if it resets after 24 hours of using it. If it resets after 24 hours of using it, that actually makes sense that she just can't use it yet again. Ignore the waiter and just enjoy the rest of the meal with your company. You've done splendidly so far with no freakouts or miscellaneous disasters. So far, aside from your happy little world popping, you should mention to Balorn about being born under the Atronox SP and see if he has any tidbits on ways you should replenish your powers in a cost-effective manner, as well as a safe way for you and your friends around you. Thanks, you're a little surprised yourself how well it's going. You pick up your conversation with Barrelorn where you left off, explaining that you just recently learned you could use magic. Some unlucky star alignments have evidently made it so you can't generate your own magicka, so you have to absorb it or something? You're still learning the finer details, but basically it means you spent most of your life without any magical energy. You still don't really have an easy way to recharge it. Barlorn jokingly proposes that you could simply try to make more enemies. Anger the wrong people, you'd have no shortage of mages casting spells on you. You thank him for the suggestion, but say that you'd rather not have a cult of insane wizards or something trying to kill you. He asks if you've ever been to an Ayleid well. They are hundreds of years old, but still one of the best magicka sources, he says. There's one east of here, near Garla's Asia. It's a long hike, but not a dangerous one. You could just make the trip every couple of days. Would magicka last that long? A couple of days without replenishing it? Remark that this is what charged you all the way. You were walking along the road, and you felt drawn to the place, and you saw this glowing blue flame, and felt you had to touch it, so you did, and suddenly fire was, yeah, everywhere. You suppose it was pent up, trying to cast fire, but with no magicka to use. Katia, hey, maybe you should bring up being mugged on the road on the way to Gvatch? Maybe they can put out a search warrant for the orc guy? Actually, that well is where you got your first charge. While you were on the road yesterday, you saw the blue flames off the side, you explain, leaving out the part where you decide to investigate the ruins like an adventurer. Yeah, you don't want Countess there to remember to know that. You didn't know what it was, but felt compelled to touch it, and suddenly you could just set stuff on fire. You totally got mugged on the way there, though. This highwayman ran up to you, pulled out a huge sword, and demanded. The Countess interrupts you. Her eyes light up with an unmistakable glimmer of hope. A highwayman on the Gold Road? In broad daylight? Oh, she's angry. Yeah, you say. Really big guy, an orc. If you had any spare guards, maybe you could. This highwayman, you say he was big? Probably quite tough. Was he perchance wearing anything that looked like it could have been looted from a dead Imperial Legion soldier? You know, dark gray, curious, leather kilt, jagged helm, any of that sort of attire? Or perhaps he menacingly mentioned that he had killed a Legion soldier, or anything to imply that just maybe he had slain another soldier who was patrolling that road? No, you say you didn't see or hear anything like that. Okay, did the guy that she was told not to talk about, did he get killed by a thug? Gods darn it! The Countess seethes with rage. You get the impression you said something very wrong, even if you were just trying to tell the truth. Darhill tries to change the subject. So, how about hair products? That's a thing we use, right? We can talk about that. Barrelorn, I've always wondered how you kept your hair that spiky. Well, what's your secret? Barrelorn says he uses this gel made from Deja venom and crushed fennel seeds. Keeps his hair perfectly frozen in place. It's imported. Yeah, I sure hope it's imported. Daedra, ugh. Darehill turns to you and Quillweave. I guess neither of you guys really grow hair? You tell her that you usually have longer hair, you're just still recovering from a razor incident a few months ago. You used to like braiding it though. Yeah, it's really weird. Khajiits usually have like normal hair on top of just being covered in fur, which just really, I don't like it. I always make my Khajiits bald when I can in Skyrim and Oblivion. Ooh, art upgrade. Don't let a little slip up deter you from having the best night ever. You're not planning on it. Honestly, you're not even that scared anymore. It feels great. Like you've done something impossible, like you've taken a step in the right direction. Like maybe, for the first time in your life, you're finally living up to the name Katia Monaghan. Other than a regrettable, drunken one-night stand with a diseased necromancer, this is shaping up to be the best day of your life. You're having dinner with a real, live countess and enjoying it. What is Quill doing? I just like got a glance down here and I'm concerned and confused. I mean, sure, she's completely flipping out over there and ruining a perfectly good knife, but something about that just makes her all the more human. It also gives you a warm reminder that if she tries to kill you, these plates will work as shields. Seeing as how everyone is sort of ignoring the Countess's outbreak, just lean over to Quillweave and ask her discreetly, as in without the Countess noticing. You are pretty curious why she got so mad, though. You swear she almost looked happy when you told her you were robbed. That was really weird, and everyone just seems to be ignoring it. You better ask Quillweave about this before you mess up again. Of course, there's no way you can whisper into her ear without the Countess noticing. Luckily, you know an old trick supposedly created by Khajiits in Morrowind. Let's see if Quillweave knows it too. Just tap tap. What's her deal? Oh, is it like Morse code but with like tail tugs? That'd be kind of neat. So like this is them tail coding? I don't know what a name for that would be. What's her deal? She has a problem with soldiers who patrol the road to Kvatch. Countess hopes she will get killed. Hopes he will get killed. That's awful. Countesses are bad people. Oh, that's not the right thing to say. Okay, so the guy didn't get killed. She just wants him dead. That must be the Imperial Legion soldier you were advised not to bring up. Kolweave lets go of your tail before you can ask why the Countess hates this guy so much. Katia, would the Razor incident make an entertaining story? Because although it kinda sucks for you, a dose of Schadenfreude might just be what that Umbernox needs right now. You're not going to talk about the Razor incident. It's not really appropriate to be spoken of at this table, and you don't really remember most of it. Called it. It would be appropriate to try cheering the Countess up by mentioning another unfortunate thing that might have, maybe, happened to a soldier on that dangerous stretch of road. Quillweave and Barrelorn already said the Gold Road is relatively safe, and Quillweave won't lie to you. Anyways, Imperial Legion soldiers are notoriously bad at lying. Every time they conquered a place, the original rulers were like, hey, start dying. And the Imperial Legion was like, no. At least, that's how you understand the story. Well, history is told by the winners, and there isn't a winner yet, so it's just kinda dependent on which side you lived on. You've probably heard everything from the Imperial Legion, so that's all you know. Katia, maybe you should let the other people control the flow of the conversation for a while. Wait for someone else to converse. Honestly, you're doing much better than I expected. Keep it up, kitten. Yeah, it's probably best if you just hear what other people have to say. You don't want to risk screwing anything up. While you finish eating, Orin speaks at length about how the punishment for theft is far too severe in Cyrodiil. Evidently, you're expected to pay a heinously high fine, even if you apologize and give the item back right. That does seem a little ridiculous to you, but you guess it keeps crime down. Oren says the jail sentences are even worse than the fines. Once you get thrown into the Imperial City prison, you're never seen again. Last guy I knew who was incarcerated there apparently got sent off east somewhere and turned it into an orange? What? Wait, apparently got sent off east somewhere and turned into an orange? At least he's pretty sure that's what he heard. Maybe it was a nectarine. Either way, sad fate. Finish milk. Request a new glass of milk. Emphasize that it should be a glass and not a dish. Katia, ask for a refill for your glass and throw a deadly look at the waiter while doing it. That looks more like a... not deadly. Deadly isn't the word for that look. You'd love the opportunity to passive aggress at the servant who gave you the dish, but you don't see any servants in the room right now? Well, not like it matters. You're pretty sure Quillweave wouldn't mind you drinking from her glass, and besides, you still have plenty of milk left. You can't think of anything that would make you urgently want more Ooh. Oh my gods. Is that chocolate cake? You've never had cake in your life. It's just been a lot of ruined birthday parties. Well, you almost had cake. I mean, if you were if you were from a castle before, I mean, I'd assume you'd had sweets when you were younger, but you might not remember that. Eat the cake in small bites too. Might be really rich. Before the cake lady leaves, ask her if she'll refill your glass of milk. Eat the cake at a reasonable rate, like a normal person who has eaten cake before. If you need help with this, look to QW for a role model. What was that? Logical thought? I couldn't hear you over the taste of all this delicious cake, which makes no sense, but oh gods, you don't care, it's really good. Turns out cake is basically the second best thing ever. What's the best thing ever? Has she said that before? The Countess begins telling a long and elaborate story about how this recipe was taken from an evil warlord chef whose journey to create the best cake ultimately sent him into a diabetic coma. You suspect the story is made up, but this cake is still pretty amazing. It is very thick and rich, though. You really shouldn't have asked. Wait, you really should have asked that servant for more milk before she left. Level with me, Katia. Do you really need instruction manual on how to eat? I'm pretty sure you'll do fine. Yeah, you really don't need the help. You're capable of making basic decisions on your own. Like, right now you really want a drink to wash this cake down, and the servants are nowhere to be seen. You could wait for one to show up, but that would mean not having more delicious cake in your mouth. You'd ask Quillweave if you could have a sip of her water, but you don't want to interrupt the Countess. Do not. Stop. Stop that. No. No. Stop it. No. I'm telling you, stop it right now. Quillweave's glass is unattended, though. You are pretty sure you could sneak a gulp without her noticing, and I'm certain this action will have no negative ramifications whatsoever. Sure, you sure, you remember all those reasons not to steal her drink, but let's be honest. Clove can afford curative potions, so she wouldn't have any communicable diseases, and it's not like you have just drank a disease-curing potion a few days ago, and if someone sees you drinking her water, it'll just look like you accidentally picked up the wrong glass. Any ideas of slimy lizard backwash doesn't really bother you either. I mean, you've had more experience with Argonian saliva than you care to admit. Oh, you're doing so well. You're doing so well. Well, let's see how this goes. Ask her first. What are you, a country bumpkin? Technically, yes, you are, but the Countess is speaking right now, and even a country bumpkin like you knows it's rude to speak out of turn. Now she's describing the warlord's chef's cult of mercenary worshippers? This story sounds like it's going on for quite a while. Do the tail thing again, and ask Quillweave if you can have some of her water. It's not like she's going to refuse. Quillweave is too distracted by the delicious cake. She does not respond to your prodding. She's had her fork there for like the past bit. I don't think she's even had a bite yet. Don't drink the water. Water tastes pretty bad with sweet things. It washes out all the nice sugary sweetness and just leaves a thick film in your mouth. Just wait for the waiter to get some milk like that. Multiplies the awesomeness of cake. Valid point, but we're planning to wash the water out with more cake. Seems like a sound plan to you since it involves eating more cake. Katia, the glass has alcohol in it. Think on that for a bit. Colweave specifically told you she would drink water to keep you safe. She wouldn't lie to you, and if she did, it would break your little heart. You're sure that's just water? You're positive? Oh no. Why do I just keep voicing the first comment down here? Like I didn't even see that and I already did the sad oh no. Caddy, I decided you'd rather wash down the cake with more cake. It's not working, but it tastes so good. Katia, realize that most adults that can handle their alcohol want to drink it. You have put her out a bit before this. It's reasonable for her to not drink water. Plus, it proves her confidence in you that she doesn't need to drink water. It's like when a dad tells his kid that he's not going to let go of the kid's bike when teaching him to ride, and then he lets go anyways. And you know what that kid actually does? He rides a bike like no person has ever ridden a bike before. Okay, maybe that's not good, but he still does well. That sounds more like it's encouraging her to take the water than to not. So much cake. You guess that's one way to look at it? Okay, but it actually sucks eating messy food with like a beard. Because like sometimes frosting and stuff does just get in it and you don't even realize because like if it's on the end of hairs and stuff, you can barely feel it unless something's actively touching up against it. Like I've had to have people tell me before that there is some frosting or some other piece of food on my beard and it's just like, oh, how long was that there? Even then, it would still hurt you a lot if Quillweave had lied to you. You don't want a friend who plays tricks on you, or that gamble with your life, or break promises for a good cause. I was doing the little quotes with my fingers. You just want friends who respect you and don't treat you like trash. Part of that, in your mind, is honesty. You even felt a little bad when Travaia tried to trick you with the flask of water, but then again, you were in no position to choose your friends. Maybe someone like maybe someone like you just has to take what she can when it comes to friendship. Maybe they'll be good friends, maybe they'll be terrible. You like to think Quillweave is one of the good ones? Yeah, you know she is. This line of thought is making you sad. You need a drink of water so you can eat more cake. Katia, wonder why your brain is trying so hard to distrust Quillweave over something as basic as a glass of water. Seriously, this is getting pretty weird. You don't know why you keep thinking she spiked the water. Quillweave specifically said she wasn't going to drink alcohol, and you believe her. Yet this unsettling feeling of doubt continues to linger in the back of your mind. You're going to show yourself that there's nothing to be afraid of, that Quillweave is a great friend who would never lie to you. You're going to take an insuspicious, apparently accidental, gulp of this water, and then continue eating this delicious cake, and you'll be fine. You'll see. Katia, drink the water. Drink it down. Well, let's see what happens. Hello guys, and thank you for watching. I'm gonna leave it off there, as Katia's reaching for the totally inconspicuous glass of water that Quillweave has been drinking. What? There's nothing wrong with it. Why would there be anything wrong with it? I trust Quillweave. That's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Anyways, see ya.